I have had a wonderful day myself, but I'm going to save some of that for later. So I tonight am having a lovely cup of elderberry and echinacea tea. This is what we are up for today. So yeah, we've got a few little upgrades, a few little shifts and changes around good old Find Your Fridays. We've got a brand new starting, and then we've got some extra little bits and bobs and some new surroundings and new lights in the background and all sorts of good little things. So taking a week off has been wonderful. Hi, Juanita. Thank you. I'm feeling fabulous. Sometimes we just have to take a little bit of self-care time, and then magic happens. When we put ourselves first, funny, wonderful, amazing, incredible things begin to happen. And I feel very, very happy to be back, to be playing with you all, and to let's just have an absolutely rocking season 3 of this. It still boggles my mind that we are now in season 3, but there we go. So let us have a look at our cards. Oh dear. All right, that should have fixed it. Thank you, Juanita. No, that's not normal. So welcome. I'm so happy to be here. And I'm very sorry for the crackling in your ear holes. I hope that is all fixed now. Should be. Yes, that crackling is the sound of my laptop microphone, which putted out on me within 6 months of owning it. I was not very impressed. Hi, Melinda. And I took it back to where I bought it from. They sent it off for a month. They did basically a factory reset, and that's all they did. And it wasn't fixed. So I have been doing all sorts of things to struggle on through with the last few years with it. But I have an external microphone, and when it's not plugged in properly or one of the connections is not quite in correctly, that's what happens. So thank you for letting me know. That would have been a very, very awkward, uncomfortable session for you all if I had been crackly the whole time. So thank you for having my back. I appreciate it. Sorry, things are around the wrong way. So as I was saying, a few little things have shifted and changed around Find Your Fridays. Your technology, could love it, eh? We have some new surroundings. We have an updated intro. We have some extra special lighting behind me now. So yes, fabulous. So let's have a look. We are up for our weekly reading. Now, did anybody do anything special for the Lionsgate portal, which was yesterday for us here in the Southern Hemisphere? It would be, we acknowledged it here in our house, and it was a few posts and things from people, and I was asked if I did anything special during my craft class, and I'm like, they're not really woo-woo people. But it was acknowledged, and it was just sort of like, let's see what today can bring. And it was certainly an interesting day yesterday, not nearly as interesting as the day before, but maybe we have a shadow period for the Lionsgate portal. Who knows? But yes. But I am very excited because I got word today. Oh, your kids were chaotic. It was weird at the hub. Had a really strange but thought-provoking dream last night. Oh, yeah, I had lots of dreams. But I was also very, very tired, incredibly tired yesterday. And so I had my shift in the morning. I had 2 shifts yesterday, and the shift in the morning I ended up spending outside being a spotter for a person who was up on a roof for 3 hours. And so just standing there and, only really moving little bits at a time. And then I could do a big move when they moved to a different side of the house and stuff. But it was a 2-story house. And so we have a policy at work of having, 2 people on site, and one of them is a spotter. And then in the afternoon, I was on a bigger job with a few of us. And I was just like, I'll do the windows. I haven't done windows for a while. So, so I spent a lot of time outside yesterday, which I think was probably the best place for me, to be honest. But by the time I got home, I was shattered, absolutely shattered. And so I had a 10-minute cat nap, had something to eat, and then bam, off to craft class. For those of you who know, I live in Mount Barker, but craft class is in Dernancourt, which is up, think Holden Hill way. So it takes about 45 minutes to get from here to there. And it was just a long day, very long day. And I was just very, very, very tired. But that's okay. These things happen. And I was more tired than usual. But today, most excellent day. Yeah, it is. It's harder when I've gone from further away than that and had to come home and then go out again. Yeah. I do a lot of driving, as you know now. So let me just shuffle up these cards and have them ready for us so that we can have a look at the weekly reading for everyone, for the entire collective, for you all especially, from the 10th of August through to the 16th of August. So, oh, wow, that's some interesting energies popping up there. Interesting. Hi, Donna. So lovely of you to join us. So, in other news today, while I'm just rambling because I'm waiting for these cards to pop. Oh boy. I've got so many cool things to tell you. But the most exciting thing from today was that my half-sister, so all of my siblings live back in New Zealand. I don't have any first family members here in South Australia. I don't have any family in South Australia whatsoever, actually, when I think about it. And she invited me to an event happening in October, so it's only 2 months away now. She's getting married. Oh my God, I'm so happy for her. And I was like going, oh, do I go? Do I not go? Cool, because it's in New Zealand. And I was like, And so one of the things that I would like to tell you all is you'll know when you are going into your thinky stinky brain, when you're going into your logic brain, because next year I wish to go to Canada. I've been planning this trip for about 4 years now, and it's sort of like next year is the year to do it. It was going to be this year, but it's been pushed out to next year already. And my brain was going, oh, but this is going to be like, oh my God, it's going to be over like $1,500. That could be going, that's like half the price to the tickets for Canada and all that sort of stuff. I'm like, oh my God. And everything just felt really like crunchy and wonky. And I went, have I actually had my water this morning yet? I went, no. Okay, so I have my water. And then I started asking some awareness questions, and my awareness was saying to go. It was going to create so much more to go. And I was like, okay, cool. So then I spoke to my friend in Canada, and she's like, oh my God, go girl, because who gets invited to weddings these days? Couldn't agree with her more. And she said, and it's your sister's. Like, that is so wicked. So definitely go. Canada's not going anywhere, and I'm not going anywhere. So go. Hi, Tamara. And so then I suddenly thought, but I wonder if I can do like accommodation on the cheap. I'll still have to hire a car and stuff. Hi, Judy. I'm doing great. Thank you so much for asking. So I was like, spoke to my soul sister over there, and I talk to you guys sometimes about her, the posts that she does. She's like so super intuitive, and she's really up with astrology stuff. And and I said to her, hey, if I come over for this wedding, can I crash at yours if there's space? And she's like, oh my God, yes, absolutely. And so now it's turned into this big old amazing trip where I get to reconnect with my soul sister, her two eldest kids, which are my niece and nephew. I always say niece and nephew. It's a nephew and niece, and that he's older than she is. But anyway, and I'll get to go to my sister's wedding, and I'll get to have some bush time. Oh my God, I'm so excited about having some bush and river time, and those mountain fed streams. And I am just so excited. And the really funny thing is that my body has been aware, like New Zealand has been popping up in my world a lot in the last 2 weeks. And to give you some idea, I haven't wanted to go back to New Zealand since 2019. That was the last trip that I took there. And there was a lot of stuff that went down, good stuff, really awesome stuff. And then there was some other stuff that happened. And I was just like, yeah, I'm done. I'm done with New Zealand. I still love people back there, but it's just like, I'm done. I wish to go traveling elsewhere now. And then New Zealand's just been tugging and tugging and tugging. And I'm like, this is interesting. And then next thing you know, today I get the invite from my sister for her wedding. And I'm like, now I know why it was tugging at me. Awareness, it's a wonderful thing. Now the other funny thing is that my friend in Canada, so I would have been going around this time next year if I was going to Canada, and at the moment she's in the process of potentially getting a new job, which means she wouldn't really necessarily have annual leave at this time next year. So my awareness was saying that I'm not actually going to be going until around September next year. And then she told me that she's gone and applied for this job and it went really, really well and blah, 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 blah. I was like, no wonder my awareness said that it was not till September. Right. So, like I said, if you're feeling really like clunky about some kind of a choice that you have to make or are looking at making, number one, drink some water and then ask your awareness questions. Expand out, like we do that lovely expanding out tool in the meditation. Do that. Expand out, drink some water, expand out, and then ask the questions. And however you ask them and whatever your awareness tool of choice is, I, in this particular case, used my body as a pendulum, which is also called muscle testing, or it's a form of muscle testing. Other people do different types of muscle testing. You can do the ones with your fingers, you can do other ones with your arm, but generally it's somebody else has to be involved with the arm one. A lot of people who do kinesiology do the arm thing. And then, of course, I've got my other tools that I use of light and heavy, and I use my pussy awareness tool. And yeah, so I've got 3 different ways of doing a check. And it was just like, okay, what will it create in 1,000 years? Because I was like, I can't be thinking what's going to create in just in a broad sense. I was like, I have to go further than that. And I was asking, what will it create in 1,000 years for me, for just in general? What will it create for my sister? What will it create for my friend in Canada? And everything was just saying, go to New Zealand. So I'm like, okay, to New Zealand I shall go. So yes, it is awesome. The universe is making things happen for us all the time. And who knows what we have all opened up our minds to over the last 24-ish hours with the Lionsgate portal. There's a lot of really awesome stuff floating around. So make use of the magic, my friends. Make use of the magic. So let us have a look for this next week. Okie dokie. All right. So this week coming, we have from the 10th of August through to the 16th of August. Not seeing anything funky dunk with the moon or anything like that. Nope. We've just got regular stuff happening. So that's cool. Nothing too stressful in there. The first card that we've got is to shield yourself. Now, to me, this is actually just a little heads up that there might be some funky dunk energies coming up where you might be a little bit more aware of the negative aspects around people coming up, like we've just been talking about with the Lionsgate portal, and people just sort of being a little bit on edge or a bit tired. Be really aware of other people's energies and allow yourself the space, the mental, physical, energetic space to go, and not my circus, not my monkeys. Thank you very much. I wish you peace and love. So however you choose to do that sort of bubble type effect without contracting. So this is the key. So when we do that expanding out tool, what we're actually doing is we're becoming like space, we're becoming air, so that the energies can't bang into us and then we feel like a bit of a ping pong ball. That's why I use the expanding out tool so much. Shielding yourself is just a really nice reminder that there might be some extra hot energies coming up. This may also be a reflection of the Mercury retrograde that we are in at the present moment. So just be aware out there. If you have to have conversations with people, take a moment for yourself and just, as they say, check yourself first and just see, are you calm? Are you space? Are you able to talk with compassion with the people that you have to be interacting with? If you can't, take yourself off to the side for a little bit and then come back. Okay? So just be aware out there. We're going to need a lot of compassion and stuff coming up. I'm just sort of looking at what the rest of the reading is coming ahead. Oh, cool. All right, the next card that we have is workshops and seminars, which to me tells me we're going to be getting a lot of information this week. So however that rocks up for you is you may have had some kind of something pop up into your world, whether it be health related or personality related, or maybe it is somebody in your family who's got some health or mental health type issues coming up, and you're sort of thinking, how can I help them? How can I best support them? Or perhaps it's something for yourself. Workshops and seminars card is coming up and to say, do some investigating. The information will be there for you with a lot of ease this week. So don't be afraid to go and search for some extra answers, and being aware of the answers popping up from all sorts of different sources. So I have a story around that one, and I'll tell you that after I finish this reading. Third eye chakra. So we know that's this one. We also know that I've been through a big, huge third eye chakra upgrade in the last few months. So, third eye chakra, let's see what it says. It's safe for you to see the energy of love in all its forms, such as angels, auras, and visions. So, third eye chakra, being aware of and seeing the love in unusual circumstances. So you might be having yourself a bit of a challenging moment, right? And you might be thinking to yourself, why me? Why am I being exposed to this? This is horrific. And what I would challenge you to do is to look for the information. Look for the information of love. What are you learning in that situation that you hadn't considered before? Like, you might have a situation where somebody is expressing themselves quite abruptly to you, and you feel like, oh, it's a stab through the heart. It's a kick to the guts. It's, all that sort of stuff. Once you take the emotion out of that, what are they actually communicating to you? What is it that has activated them enough that they are saying whatever they're saying to you? And it could be something that's going on with them, and that they are projecting their hurts onto you. It's information too. So then you can come back with that space of compassion rather than defense. And that then shows you the love. That means that you're being in that space of love for them. And the other thing is that what they could be saying, there may be a nugget of truth in there for you to really look at and ponder and consider. And because none of us are perfect, we all fuck up. We make mistakes. We do things that are maybe not our best selves. And sometimes we require the people in our world to go, hey, you're a fuckwit. That behavior was not okay. But if you don't have anybody in your world to say those sorts of things for you, you're just going to keep stumbling around making the same bloody mistakes. It's okay to have people come back to you and say, hey, that's not all right. And yes, it may be confronting. Yes, it might hurt your feelings a bit. But I prefer honesty over, trying to play nice all the time and just building resentment and stuff, which is not fun. Which leads us into our next lovely card of cancel, clear, delete. And this is about, I'll read it out for you. Use only positive words and thoughts as they are rapidly manifesting into form. Ask the angels to cancel the effects of past negative thinking. So we come back to our scenario. Somebody's come up to you and they are spewing their negative bleh at you. And you're going, and it's about you, to you. And you're like going, oh, fuck, I want to rip their head off. I want to, right? How dare they do that to me? How dare they speak that to me? Blah, 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 blah. We pause. We expand out. We go, okay. I'll now cancel, clear, delete all of my negative reactions to what they have said. So that's essentially brushing aside all the emotions. What information am I gleaning from this interaction? Cool. And now, how can I reapproach that from a space of love and unconditional love? Okay. So I love this reading for everybody. This is just so cool. The next one that we've got, Is parents. Oh, this is a loaded one, isn't it, for so many of us. I am sure the majority of us out there have gone, parents suck. They have, put, and to those of you who have had lovely, wonderful, darling, gorgeous parents, I say, congratulations, you won the lottery. For those of us who have had a bit of trauma and a bit of neglect and a little bit of abuse and a bit of this and a bit of that, as this card says, that your parents eternally love you to the best of their ability. That means that even the most worstest, shittiest parents out there have still loved you to the best of their ability. They cannot love you any more than what they do. And once we sort of go, oh, okay, well, if that's the case, I can't ask more than what they've already got to, if they're already doing their best, I can't ask for more than that. It's like if you were, I don't know, doing something at work and you were doing it to the best of your ability and somebody came along, your boss came along and goes, listen, Mary, that is just not good enough. I'm not feeling it. I'm just not feeling your commitment here. And you're like, Brian, but I've been here since, dawn. I was here before everybody else. And I never, I'm just trying to do the best that I can to the best of my ability. Well, your best of your ability is just not good enough. You would be heartbroken. You might cover it up with a bit of bravado and a bit of defense. But at the end of the day, our parents are just doing the best that they can. And along with that, sometimes for some of us, myself included, the type and style of parent that we had was necessary for us to create the space of compassion, of love, of seeing and feeling what it was like to have such horrible, nasty parents. Or I'm not saying my parents were totally horrible and nasty. Please don't take that on board. But sometimes the parents that we pick, actually not just sometimes, all the time, the parents that we pick are the necessary parents for us to be able to be who we are. We may have needed to have a hard-ass parent or two, or maybe you grew up in a household where there was only one parent. So there's always that feeling of loss of not having the other parent there. It was absolutely necessary for you to have that, so that you could have that experience, to know what it feels like, so you can have some more of your soul development. Interesting, huh? So again, we come back to cancel, clear, delete, all that old parental stuff that is still coming up in your world this week. And it's obviously going to rear its ugly little head again. Oh, but my mum or my dad did this, and so I do this, or I don't want to do that, and I don't want to be that, so I'm not like my mum, or I'm not like my dad. If you find yourself doing or saying any of that this week, expand out and send them to some love, and then send yourself some love too. Okay? Because it's obviously activating you in a lovely little way of going, love. Love, love, love. Receptive. It's an interesting word to pop out for this week coming. I'm getting that we are going to be very open and maybe a little bit raw and a little bit vulnerable this week coming. So for some of us, that will make you feel like you just want to stay at home and hermit. For others, it'll make you feel like you just want to get out in nature and not people too much. So whichever way you go, and there'll be others of us who just, you won't even notice it. And none of it is right, none of it is wrong. All right. So there we go. Right. So I know it's the first episode of season 3, and we may need a wee reminder that if you do a little baby donation into the PayPal that is running across your screen at the moment, I will be able to do extended readings for you. And I love doing extended readings because they're just so much fun. So yes, while I'm just thinking about that, exciting week to come though. I might get a little bit of third eye activation / headaches. Be aware. If you start getting a little eyebrow headache, that's probably your third eye going da 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 da. So I have a wee story to tell you around the signs, seeing the signs, the information. So as some of you are aware, there has been a lot going on behind the scenes here at home with different aspects of stuff that's going on at home. I'll put it that way. Anyway, and as it turned out, I kind of slipped into some old habits. And it was really funny because it wasn't just like a week or two. It was like, this is over the last probably 6-7 months. And I had this old habit, and I think it's a generational habit as well, of wrapping myself around my partner and making their life, their wellness, their whatever it is that has got, their hobbies, their house, their whatever is the most and biggest thing in their world, become the biggest thing in my world. And this is something I've done for a very long time, and probably my whole life, to be fair, especially from the point where my parents split up at 6.5. So that's a while. And it's a long time to have a habit. And I ended up with 4 messages across 5 days, all basically saying the same thing of, Lorene, you have to put yourself first. You have to take care of yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself and you don't put yourself first, then you can't take care of anybody else very well. And that includes you guys. That includes Alex. It includes my friends. It includes my people at work, my clients at work. It includes the clients that I have coming in for sessions and things. And you know, you hear it. You hear it many times over. Oh, you can't give from an empty cup. But when you're in the thick of it, you don't always see where it's gone. You don't see that your cup is kind of empty, or at least you're on the last dregs. And I'm so grateful for each of those people. One of them was actually a decluttering client, and I'd only met them that day. And they had we had this beautiful conversation about religion. And I was just like, wow. And they were actually a minister in their church. And they don't do so much of that now because of their health issues and stuff. But he said to me, you know how in religion they teach God, others, and then yourself? And I was like, yeah, I'm aware of that concept. And he says, well, I don't think that's right. I said, you don't? Why, what do you think? And he said, well, I think it's supposed to be God, yourself and then others. And I said, okay, I'm not disagreeing with you, but how did you come to this realization? And he said, well, I came to this realization when I was sitting in a hospital bed and I couldn't do anything for myself. And I thought to myself, if I'm to have that philosophy of giving to others before myself, I can't do that right now. So I'm failing. And I'm not doing what I'm meant to be doing as far as a good little person of the church. He said, so I have to look after myself first, so then I can then I can give to the parishioners again. And I thought to myself, wow, that's so timely. And I'd had a message on the Sunday, I had that one on the Monday, I had Tuesday was another message from somebody else, and then Wednesday was skipped, but Thursday I got a fourth message, and I was just like, okay. So that's why I say that workshops and seminars card, when that comes out in a reading, I see that more so as just it's information. And sometimes it's information you do not wish to hear. But happy to say I'm back on track. I'm taking care of me. I'm still giving plenty to Alex, and Alex is giving plenty to me. And now my focus has shifted a little bit, which is just so lovely. And I'm really, really happy about it. So, Miss Melinda, thank you so much for your contribution to Find You Fridays. Would you please pop your question in the chat? And I would love to do a reading for you, darling. So I'm curious, do any of you have any interesting sort of synchronicities or information that you've noticed, themes of information coming through over the last week or two, that when you sort of think about it, you go, oh, wow, that is kind of pertinent right now? Who wishes to come and play with me, Linda? Oh, your team has just stepped in. I love it. And Brenda, if you're listening to this still, keep listening. You'll be amazed at what comes out in other people's readings. And it's like, oh, geez, that actually sounds really relevant to me too. Overwhelming sense of being lost. So just as I'm waiting for Melinda with her question, thank you, darling. Brenda, I have an inkling that your friendship circle may have changed recently. When we upgrade our consciousness levels, that often comes with a departure of people in our world. People that we once fraternized with, associated with, whatever, you no longer resonate. And it becomes more difficult to be around them. And so we end up in a space of like emptiness, because it's like you haven't found your next tribe yet. You haven't found your next tribe. And you're still searching for that. But in doing so, you sort of like, you feel a bit like a fish out of water. Like, I don't know what I'm doing here, and I'm feeling really lost and alone. And it can be very overwhelming. And I've been through that space probably, let me think, 3 times since living here, each with a very big life change or upgrade. And it's uncomfortable. So I would like to say congratulations on your upgrade, your latest upgrade, because quite clearly you're in one right now. And it is now is the time for you to start having a look at who and where is your next vibe tribe. It could be anything. So, for example, part of my vibe tribe is, and one that has been there consistently, is my crafting group that I go to. We do like cards and stuff. And that is something that came in during the first of those big shifts and changes in my world. And that's continued on over the years. Then another part of my vibe tribe, and that this has changed again, is doing this podcast. Was part of it, of going, okay, well, perhaps I just require to create my own tribe. And so welcome. And I just love the love that is here in this chat. It's like, even though it's not always really super busy on the actual chat side, the Find You Fridays crew, I just find you all just so loving towards each other and towards me and the show and all. Like, you show up, it's a beautiful thing. And the other thing is that there's been another shift that happened, and I would say it would be within the last probably 2 years, where my vibe tribe shifted again, and it's my woo-woo people shifted into a different circle of friends, and I'm grateful for it. I don't have any hard feelings about the people who have moved on. And when we see each other, it's like, oh, hi, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. But it's still where your vibe is at, where they're vibing at, might be two quite different things. And that's totally okay. So yeah, keep having a look. What sparkles your attention? What makes you go, ooh, I'd really like to do that? And just have a look around and see. There might be some groups out there that are doing those sorts of things. There's actually, thank you for this question, because up here in Mount Barker, they actually have a knitting crochet group. And I was just saying to, I think it was Alex the other day around my cross stitch, I was like, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do when I finish my cross stitch, because I'm not going to have, anything to sit down and do. And then I was just like, oh, hang on a minute. I could actually go to that knitting group up here in Mount Barker and join in with that and do some of my crochet projects that I've been putting off forever. So cool. There we go. And there's another sort of vibe tribe for me. If I was back down the hill, I was seriously thinking about going and joining a woman's shed or something like that, because creativeness is part of my vibe. I love being creative. I love working with my hands. It's why my Monday to Thursday job really works well for me, because I'm constantly moving and got my hands going and that sort of thing. So, having the other thing that I absolutely fucking adore is being able to catch up with people and have really amazing, deep conversations. I don't do small talk well. I'm way too much of an open book for that. And so big group gatherings don't really work for me. But if I can sit with one or two people and just have a nice little intimate chat about all sorts of things, find out what makes them tick, that sort of thing, oh, I'm in heaven, absolute heaven. And then I can cruise on home and chill, and it's so good. So good. So vibe tribes. Go find your vibe tribe. And I can't take credit for vibe tribe. That's Melinda's word. And it was reminded to me through my Facebook memories about a conversation that we'd had around that. So there you go, Brenda. What is it that lights you up, that makes you feel happy? Alrighty, Melinda. And in the chat, for the rest of you listening, what makes up your vibe tribe? What elements? So that we can give Brenda a little bit of a nudge. And you just sort of go, yeah, that's something I love to do. And I just wish to say, if you recall last show, so the last show of the month, there I did say that the donations for the month of July were going to be going towards the fundraiser for Jim Ryan, who has two $60,000 surgeries that they have to fund for his neurological things. And I caught up with Jim's partner, Joe, last Friday, and their gratitude for our donation was just huge. She had actually sent me a voice message prior to that, just in tears, absolute tears, for your kindness, your guys' generosity, for helping to go towards the amount of money that they had raised already. It was, I'm not sure where it is at the moment, but it was already last Friday, so a week ago, it was already sitting at over $8,000. So it certainly is helping towards being able to have them do these surgeries. And how awesome is that? So thank you from me, from Jim, from Joe, for all of your guys' beauty and kindness, and your honoring and sharing your magic with the world. So thank you. Movements and energy. Okay. Alrighty. Melinda. Once again, thank you for your donation, Melinda. I super duper duper am appreciating of it. First of all, so we've got the kick-ass cards have come out to play with you. And your first card is Alchemy. And it says, the path you're on is about to go through a very powerful transformation. Nothing is how it seems. So you have an opportunity to take a big leap in your level of consciousness. Whoa. And it is extremely important that you focus on letting go of any negativity and beliefs that no longer serve you. You have access to the energy of alchemy, which can transform the most challenging experiences into incredible gifts and miracles. Meditate and take action on your highest goals and dreams. They are on their way to coming true. Let go of your expectations. What is about to appear can surpass anything you have dreamed of. The most important part is that you are prepared and ready to receive. The energy around you is very potent at the moment, so make sure that you are using this time as productively as possible. Give yourself time for prayer, gratitude, and celebrations. Ooh. So, isn't she just cool? Love it. Cool. I'm glad we're explaining your dream. Hope the next one is makes sense. I'm actually. I need to bookmark that page so that we can do that activity. Right. 36. Oops, wrong way. Okay. That makes sense now. Okay. The next one that we have for you, my dear, is the hole in the soul. There we go. All right. Your childhood wounds are creating a hole in your soul. One way your childhood wounds disrupt an extraordinary life is through low-grade depression experienced as perpetual empty feeling. If, as a child, you tried to make everything all right by picking up the pieces of your family dramas, then you adopted a false self. When you lose your authentic self, you disconnect from your true feelings, needs, and desires. You instead wear a mask to make others feel more comfortable. Being detached leads to profound loneliness and isolation, as you are always mourning your true self. This card encourages you to discover your true self through learning about your childhood, mourning the abandonment and neglect that you felt. So this is pretty cool. Again, not surprised when we think about that, the weekly reading. Yep, that's right in alignment with that too. Your next card is number 10, which is pay attention to the signs. Signs are all around you. Open your mind and pay closer attention to your environment. Your angels know that you have been feeling lost about direction you need to take in your life and the decisions you need to make. They have heard your frustrations and your pleas for help. They ask you to slow down, stop focusing on the problem, and allow the solution to come into your reality. Your spiritual helpers have been organizing synchronistic events and support for you, but you keep thinking in the same stubborn way. Relax and look at life in a more creative way. Pay attention to the repetitive signs and signals. A sign can come through in the form of a song, a movie, a book, nature, animals, people, thoughts, dreams, visions, and so on. At times, your body also gives you signs. Your body may be telling you to rest, to change your diet, or to work on challenging emotions. Be sure to take these signals seriously. I do love these cards. I really, really do. This next one, I think, will make you crack up laughing as much as it did me. And we have the sexual arts. Bring more light into your sexuality. Keeping sexuality alive is an art form very few people try to truly understand. Are you sexually attracted to your partner every day? Sex energy only occurs when there is sexual polarity. Everyone has both masculine and feminine qualities to gift to each other. The only time there is a sexual spark is when one person is embodying more of their masculine energy and the other person is embodying more of their feminine energy. The masculine is the unchanging witness, presence, direction, decision-making, trying to bring everything to closure and consciousness itself. The feminine is change, life force, light, flowing movement, Mother Nature, emotions. Do not buy into the myth that sexual attraction eventually dies in long-term relationships. Sexual polarity is an art that takes practice, can be so subtle and last a lifetime if you're constantly reinventing your gifts and using an open heart. Oh dear. That's a good one. Hi, Amanda. Thank you, darling. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And the next one, which seems to be running along the right theme, is courage. It's an interesting image, actually. Courage requires you to fearlessly stride ahead despite the challenges you are experiencing. All that stuff, childhood wounds and things like that. Whether you are afraid of success or failure, you cannot stay where you are. You need to make a decision and move forward with belief, trust, and boldness. Give it your all, no matter the outcome. Despite what you have been telling yourself, you are ready for a new adventure and another chance to prove that you have what it takes to face life's challenges. Stop investing in limitations, lack, and dysfunction. Every blessing has a challenge, and every challenge contains a blessing. You are ready to explore both. Whilst there may be difficult moments ahead, keep positive and believe that everything is going to work out for your absolute best. You are being asked to gather the courage to be who you truly are and to stand strong for your convictions. Cool. Wow, Melinda. What a whopper of a reading. I'm like, yes, please, to all of that. So basically, your team is telling you it's time for you to move forward with your world, move forward and not feel like you're stuck where you are, that in doing so, you're going to be healing those childhood wounds, those that inner negative thought processes that are going on at the moment. And your team are constantly, as you know, constantly sending you messages, and they're just asking you to take a bit more closer look at all of those things and don't brush them off quite so easily. So the thing that I bookmarked was this action for the alchemy card. And I would like you all who are watching right now to do this for me, please. So, in fact, I will balance things so I can do it too. So, first of all, we rub our hands vigorously like this for 40 seconds. All right. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, and 40. And now place your hands a few centimeters apart and visualize a golden ball of light. Focus your intention on what you would like to create and place this intention in the golden light. And then move your hands towards your heart. Feel your heart expand and grow full. Ask your higher self to guide you towards your deepest expansion and evolution. Dearest higher self, please guide me towards my deepest expansion and evolution. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is done, it is done, it is done. Yeah. Oh, that's so good. So good. All right, let's have a look at your yummy card. I do love that smell. You got Grace. So I see Grace as being kind of like that gentle magic. I see it as like, as you're moving through the world and you're doing it in your beautiful, gentle way, it's like these little shimmery sparkles are coming off of you all the time. And it's like, that's the grace of your movement. It's the grace as you move through your workplaces and your friendships and everything. And it's just like, that. Keep doing that. And don't doubt that you are fucking magical and amazing and powerful and potent and all of the beautiful goddess stuff that you are. Whew, what a great reading. That was cool. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're very, very welcome. You're very, very welcome. All right. So I am going to move into doing gratitude poetry readings. So before we do that though, what I would like to do is take that off there. And, oh, really? I didn't know I could do that. Hey, that's pretty cool. Oh, I just learned something new. I would like you all to do the expanding out exercise with me right now. And then we're going to do our numbers thing, okay? So close your eyes, take a lovely big deep breath, all the way down to the bottom of your belly, to the bottom of your butt, and out. Take another big deep breath in, going all the way down to your feet. And breathing out. Just feeling your muscles relaxing. Breathing in, bringing Mother Earth energy up. And Father Sky energy down. Bringing Mother Earth energy and the unconditional love all the way up. Father Sky and the gratitude for everything and everyone all the way down. Now taking your awareness and expanding out beyond your body, filling up the room that you're in, expanding out beyond the size of the building that you're in, up into the sky, down into the earth in a big, big bubble of awareness, expanding out your awareness beyond the size of the country that you're in, beyond the size of the planet, beyond the size of the solar system, beyond the size of the galaxies, and now beyond the size of the universes. For those of you who have done sessions with me, feel free to expand out beyond that if you choose. Or you can just stay right there, and that's absolutely fine. And now focusing on your body once more, we're going to take our sense of allowance. We're going to expand that out. Remembering that when our allowance is contracted and small, it can make us feel like we're a pebble at the bottom of a raging river of everybody else's thoughts, feelings, and emotions, bashed and trashed and at the effect of those thoughts, feelings, and emotions. And when we expand out our allowance, we become like a nice big fluffy white cloud just floating along. And we can observe that raging river of everybody else's thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and we can see it for exactly what it is. It's just energy. You can choose to respond to it or just keep floating on by. And even that is a response. We don't have to get involved in everything. So let's expand out our sense of allowance beyond our bodies, up into the sky, down into the earth, expanding out our sense of allowance beyond the size of the building that we're in, beyond the size of the country that we're in, beyond the size of the planet, beyond the size of the solar system, beyond the size of the galaxies and the universes. And now expanding out your allowance beyond the size of your awareness, please. Take a big deep breath in and out. And just notice how much easier it was to take that lovely big deep breath in. Do another one. And letting it out than it was to do the breaths before. And now I would like you to become aware of the number between 1 and 88 inclusive. That is going to create the most for you today, for the week, for the month, for the year, for the next 1,000 years. What number of my poetry book is going to create the most for you? Please pop that in the chat right now. Alrighty, 76 for Amanda. Amanda, you chose self-honesty. I don't think I have actually had this particular poem come up on this show. So well done. And this is why I've decided to do that exercise more often before I ask you guys to do your numbers. Such a delicate balance, one's happiness and love, to pull away, to give space, to allow you to think. But my heart wants what is opposite to my head. My gut wants the same as my heart. I know that if I let you go, my heart will hurt. You are so special to me. I am complete within myself, but you access a part of my heart that is very few have ever done. I am allowing you in. I am not frightened of what you may think of me, but I am frightened that you may decide not to be with me. So, interestingly, the bit at the bottom for you, Miss Amanda, actually feels quite relevant right now. Reaching out for the perceived unreachable, loving loving others even if it didn't make sense, beginning to listen to my body even if I did doubt it. So, what I got out of that was sometimes we cling really, really hard to one particular outcome. And in doing so, we stifle the other possibilities that are coming up. So with that, what I'm saying is I also got an image of your work and how that's all unfolding for you right now. And there's a lot of because you do love your work and you have loved your work. But it is making your heart hurt a bit to be going away, and your adventures that you're going to be having. And yeah, Yeah, we do. We miss the other possibilities that are available to us if we get too hung up on the one aspect. So, for example, there was something I was talking about earlier around wrapping myself around my partner. And it is a habit that I've had for such a long time. And with what's been going on in the last week or so, of kind of going, wow, you've really got to stop doing that. I've realized that my reasons for doing that was because how could I prove that I was a good partner or a good wife or, that's a good girlfriend if I didn't do that? If I didn't have them at the forefront of my mind all the time, like, how could I prove that I was good enough for them? And it's like, well, hang on a minute. Isn't that a bit of ass about face, Lorene? Yes, definitely. Like, their well-being is definitely got to be part of your process, but it's not the be all and everything, be all and end all. And I have the same habit with my workplace. I have the same habit with so many aspects of my life. And I've had to learn piece by piece to not do that so much, because I lose myself and I lose what is truly me. Yeah, I hear you, Amanda. Yeah, it's hard. And like when we leave those workplaces that we've been in for a long time, like when I left doing disability caring, and I'd been with one particular client for 6 years, and that was tough. That was really, really freaking tough. And there was a lot of tears and, a lot of feeling unsure from both sides, and they would still have me back in a heartbeat today. Absolutely would still have me back, which is really nice. It's nice to feel loved. And anytime I pop in there to see them, they're like, when are you coming back? And I'm like, I'm not. And they're like, oh. But yes, you're doing something that is lighting you up, and that's a beautiful thing. So keep going, keep doing what you're doing. This title of this is beautiful for you right now. It's self-honesty. You've got to do what's going to make you happy, and give them the space to grow, because they'll do it. They'll be okay. Thank you so much for choosing. Judy, 64. This one is a nice one, but it's a little bit morbid. So just a pre-warning. To my loved ones, when I die, may I have lived a full and long life. May I have received a lovely family. May I have cried, laughed, and loved. May I have listened to beautiful music. May my family and friends remember me. May they always think of the happy times. May they not dwell on the sadness for too long. Love and hugs. So this one here is a simple request, is that this be read at my funeral, whenever that may be. So as I was reading this, what I was getting from this one, Judy, for you is, where is your legacy? And are you achieving that? And this isn't to put pressure on you, because I know that you're a very busy lady. It's also looking at the impact that you're having on the lives around you. Have you acknowledged that for yourself? Have you acknowledged, and this isn't from that sort of egotistical martyr type space, it's from that space of acknowledging your magic, and to have a think about, like, when you pass away, what do you wish to have achieved in your life? Have you achieved some, any, none so far? And if you haven't, like have a look. What would you like to achieve before you pass away? And that might be not for another 50 odd years, and that's fine. But if we have nothing to aim towards, if we have no targets, then you're just floating, and you're not giving yourself any direction. And if it's a pretty interesting thing, because when I do my decluttering work and the hoard clear outs and things like that, and there's a process called the death clearing, the Swedish death process, which is you look at each item and you ask yourself, because obviously all the things there matter to you, whether it's literal rubbish or not, right? You've put them there, you've left them there. And this process goes, you look at each piece and you go, who will this matter to when I go, when I die? Who will care about this? And when you start to realize, oh, geez, out of all this stuff here, actually only the small fraction of things will actually matter to anybody but me. That's when you start going, well, let's have a look at that. Perhaps it's time to pass it on to someone else, especially if I've got 15 of them. And that's the beauty of that process. So it's a good way to look at things and go, well, if it's not something that I'm actually actively using, do I really need it? And if it's something that nobody else will wish to have, then do I really require it? Yeah, it's an interesting process. I don't think it's particularly morbid to ponder what is your legacy. I wonder that. And more so before I started the podcast, I used to think a lot more about, when I die, what the hell impact am I going to have? Like, I don't have kids, and therefore I don't have grandchildren. So I did, for a long time, I felt like I wasn't creating any kind of legacy for anyone. And it wasn't until I was having a conversation with my soul sister, who is the mum of my eldest nephew and niece, so my brother's two kids, eldest two. And she said to me, you do realize that the choices that you have made to stand up to your family, to move to a different country, to be unabashedly you, and to love so deeply, even though they judged you and told you to your face that you're wrong for loving so much, your choices and the way that you are with my two children has made such a huge impact on them as they are growing up, and me. And I'm like, what? No. And she's like, yeah. So I'm like, it's you never know quite where your magic is going to be sprinkled and inspiring others by being you, by being bold, being brave, and being you. That's why I've said that for years and years and years and years and years. You just never know. Your legacy might be created in such an obtuse kind of a way. Maybe you're creative, and that's a pretty obvious way of making a legacy, making an impact, sharing your love. There's a piece of artwork which is right there. I would love to pull it down and show you guys, but I don't want to wreck the wall. And it's a photograph that was taken of some steps in a national park near where I grew up. And it was taken by a friend that I met in Australia. And they took this photo a good couple of years before I met them. And they created a shop many years later and using Redbubble and said, hey, if there's any photographs that I've taken over the years that you would really love to have as an art piece, let me know. And I was like, I knew exactly which one it was. I knew which one I wanted. See, he also does not have children, but his legacy is impacted and inspiring me with his gifts and talents. So it's not always the most obvious ways. Amanda says, I have actually a sheep collection that means something to others as well as me. No, I'm not a Kiwi, just sentimental value. Other than that, we pack up and go. As much as I've got a household of crap means nothing. It's going in the trash. Yep. And I've done from time to time big deceased estate clear outs, and very little of it gets kept. Very little. And, it's things like photos will get kept sometimes. Important documents, and occasionally some pieces of furniture. But other than that, gone. Everything in the bin. So, yeah. It's interesting. Interesting. Thank you so much for choosing a number, Judy. Like I said, kind of morbid, but I find it at the same time, that whole conversation around death and dying and how we choose to live our lives in the meantime to be really fascinating. And that's why I love my work. Both this stuff and the other job that I do. I find it all really, really super fascinating. 62 for Miss Melinda. So yeah, what is your legacy? I think Melinda's legacy is her hair. All right. This is really fun. I've been thinking a lot about being a Generation Xer. So how can we live? All this hating, fighting, arguing, bitching, and complaining, putting us in the deep, dark hole of self-obsession, depression. Wanting to get out of something we don't know the name of, reaching out only to have our fingers chopped off. Too many tears, a riverful to be exact, but still not enough to fill up this darkness and drown us. People say, fix it yourself. How can we when we don't know how or even what it is? Walking in a blur. They can't see us, don't hear us. Maybe they don't want to. Think that they have heard it all before. If we make it through, would anyone notice how much pain we've been in? Probably not. Why would they want to? They would have to get involved in us, with us, actually care about us. We are alive, but only just, hanging on with what's left of our own self-worth, helping ourselves to what others wouldn't give us, leaving behind the traitors, walking one day at a time, slowly escaping the dark hole that was our life. Beginning to value us, not relying on anyone but ourselves, giving us what we needed the most. Melinda, this is a really interesting poem for you to pick, and certainly it is talking about the progression of growing up in abusive type society, home, depending on which way you want to look at it. And it's that feeling of isolation and trying to fit in and doing what you can and all that sort of stuff. And it's like, there is a point where you just go, enough's enough. And I think you reached that quite a while ago of going, enough's enough. I'm just so fucking done. And you are definitely on the track of, valuing yourself and giving what you require the most to you. And I'm also looking at that as, and what is just popping through now of, it's this progression of your confidence as well, of going, there was that moment, the line about having your fingers chopped off, like reaching out and having your fingers chopped off. That one there stood out to me for you as well, simply because it's like, that's a sign of where you might still be sitting with some of your self-doubt. And it's like, have a look, where does that self-doubt originate from? And it's time to make peace with that. You can do this. You can do what is next in your world. So it is actually quite an encouraging poem, even though it's kind of angry at the start, angry and depressed at the start. But definitely you are well on your way, my dear. Well on your way. Homo peopleness. Oh dear. Amanda, it's a running joke. Once my mum said, I love you, and then my husband said, why does mum love sheep? So I have a sheep collection. No, you I gotcha. So now you have a sheep collection. Aww. Isn't it funny how we can pick up these little things from our loved ones? Hi, Chris. Nice to see you. Nice. All right. So okay, I'm just going to have a quick look at the pendulum. Yep, as I thought. Okay. Paul. Ah, well done. You picked up on the vibes, Chris. I love it. So hopefully Paul will be back shortly, because I would like to answer his question. He's very nervous about flying. So, and he said he'll be back soon. Back soon. Dear, oh dear. Right. Okay, Chris, before I actually do your one, I'm going to ask you to take a big deep breath in. We can all do it again. And a big deep breath out. And I'm going to ask you to pull Mother Earth energy all the way up through your body. And Father Sky energy all the way down. And Mother Earth and the unconditional love all the way up. And Father Sky and the gratitude for everything and everyone all the way down. and Paul Freed, if you're now listening to this, this is what you can do for your flight. Now, Chris, can you please keep your eyes closed and expand out? Expand out your awareness, out beyond your body, up into the sky, down into the earth, in a big, big bubble, expanding out your awareness beyond the country that you're in, beyond the planet, beyond the solar system, beyond the galaxies and the universes. And now focusing on your body once more, grab your sense of allowance and expand that out, please. Out in a big, big bubble. Become like the big old fluffy cloud, watching that raging river of thoughts, feelings, and emotions just flow on by, knowing that it's just emotions and energy. It's just energy. Not good or bad, it's just energy. Expanding out your allowance. Up into the sky, down into the earth, beyond the country that you're in. Greater than the planet. Greater than the solar system. Greater than the galaxies. Greater than the universes. And beyond your awareness, please. Take a big deep breath in. And out. Okay. Now, what number between 1 and 88, inclusive of, will create the most for you for the next 1,000 years? What number will create the most for you, truth, in the next 1,000 years? Please put that in the chat. Thank you. Cool. So, worries. In this world, there are many of them, most of which we could do without. They come in many shapes and forms and can arise at any time. The only way to solve them is to confront them. If they are avoided, they grow. To hope that they'll go away is fantasy, but life would be boring without them. When we find that they're getting on top of us, that's when it's too much and it brings us down. So to be content, we have to combat the damaging to keep healthy and happy. So, Chris, what I was getting at with that one is that you're sending yourself in monkey mind a lot. The poem that you originally chose was called How Come? And it's a lot of like questions, and not really able to go any further with it because you're just going round and round and round and round in circles. So that's why I was like, okay, let's take this a step back, do the expanding out, which everybody else had already done, and let's see what number you choose from that point. It was the same one, cool. Like I would have read it anyway. But what I'm getting from you with this one is that you worry too much about things that are not actually going to help you. And I am going to ask you the same kind of question that I asked Judy. What is your legacy? What are you creating in your life right now that in 50, 60, 70 years, you'll be able to look back on and go, fuck yeah, I did that? Or are you going to look back in 50, 60, 70 years of time and go, oh my, why did I spend so much time and effort worrying about these things about people that are either not connected to me at all or are off with other people. Like, I've spent so much time wasted thinking about other people rather than doing things for myself. So this is a little bit of a nudge from your team saying, be aware of where you're putting your focus. Worry about creating an awesome legacy for the people in your community or the people in your family. If you've got a good connection with your family, look at where is your time, energy, space going. Like, worrying about things that are not, in the big scheme of things, that important. Why would you worry about that stuff? It's like people who focus so heavily on, the famous people. It's like, why? It's why I don't watch regular TV anymore. I don't, because it's not relevant. It's not important. So I'm just saying, have a look. Where are you spending your energy? What are you worrying about that's actually not that important? Where you could be putting more of your amazing, delicious, gorgeous goddess, wild, wicked self into something that is going to create the life that you truly desire, the love that you truly desire. And also with that, have a look at, what are your, because there's something that's come up in the weekly reading around those old childhood traumas and things like that. That stuff's going to be coming up this week. So be aware. You might be activated to start looking at some of your old childhood stuff. Okay? So yeah, stop being such a big worrywart and start living your life. Okie dokie. Thank you for choosing a number. All right. I think that's it. I think we're done. But let us do our meditation, because we do love our meditations. So let me just have a little quick drink of water. All right. Now that we're all nice and expanded out, just taking another big, deep breath and close your eyes. Just tapping in with your body once again. Feeling that energy moving up from Mother Earth all the way up your body as you breathe in. And really paying attention to the energy of Father Sky as it moves down the body, all the way down to your fingertips and all the way down and through to your toes. Just really pay attention to the breath as it moves through your body. You may even start to become aware of your internal organs as they move and shift and are working together. And let's just send some gratitude to all the organs in your body for doing such an excellent job of keeping you alive and thriving. And I think what we're going to do Because I'd like you to now focus on your third eye. And imagine that you're inside your brain. There's a little wee version of you standing in front of this big, beautiful portal, which is your third eye, kind of like a big old window. And as you're looking out this window, you're not only seeing what is literally in front of you, you're seeing all the possibilities. It's kind of like a magic mirror as well, where you can just see all the different chances, possibilities, options that are available to you as you move forward. Now I'd like you, the little wee version of you, to just take note of the space behind you, where there's all this beautiful information. It's like a room. It's kind of like a library, or if you're a bit more tech savvy, it might have, computer screens. However it looks to you, your information room. But in one special part, it'll show you what your life's purpose is. And this life purpose is about the experiences that you have signed up for before you even got embodied. As they say, we are a soul, a being having a human experience. And it'll be written in a language that you probably don't understand right now. There'll be a part of you that goes, I recognize this. And I'd like you to imagine that you're just running your hands down the text. And as you run your hand down the text, you gain more insight. Insight and awareness into your life as it has stood, as it stands now, and as it is moving towards. This is not about whether you get to have the big, beautiful house and the flash cars and the multi-millions in the bank or anything like that. It's not what this is about. This is about learning things like, or experiencing things like compassion, unconditional love, joyousness, peacefulness. There could be elements in there about rebalancing karma from previous lifetimes. Or again, you'll be challenged on your compassion, your empathy, your unconditional love. And as you run your hand down this big, beautiful list of experiences that you have desired to have this lifetime, you've got a little bit of an insight as to where and how your life is heading. Notice how each part makes your body feel as you're running your hand down that list. This is information of letting you know when these experiences pop up in your world, you're like, oh, that's one of those. Okay, I've got that knowledge now. I know I'm heading in the right direction. Now I'd like you to go back to that big, beautiful third eye window, magic mirror. And as you stand quietly, watching and observing all the possibilities before you, imagine that information is now flowing out of your third eye, and it's wrapping around your head, sending little tendrils of golden light down over your face, over your neck and your throat, over your torso, through your heart, down your arms to your fingertips. You'll feel that information becoming far more clear and tangible. It'll be a feeling more than words. But your body is now becoming the receptor. Always has been, it's just you're more aware of it now. So those beautiful golden threads of information move their way down through your body, down through your pelvis, your legs, your knees, all the way down to your tippy toes. You can feel your self-confidence growing, and all that self-doubt that you've ever had in your life beginning to melt away, because now you can be bold, be brave, be you. You are now armed consciously with the information of what you have chosen to experience this lifetime. And coming back to those core groups of compassion, empathy, and unconditional love. You are the controller of your life. You always have been, and you always will be. We say thank you to our inner selves. And allow that little knowledge room to just fade into the background again. Knowing now that it is there. It is functioning all the time. I'd like you to now encourage that energy of unconditional love from Mother Earth up and around your body, just wrapping you up in some more unconditional love, so that any harsh, heavy energies of the week to come are able to be transmuted easily into a space of loving kindness. And as Father Sky energy continues to flow down and sprinkle all over you, reminding you of the strength and joyous compassion that is possible when you embrace your masculine side as well. Take a big deep breath in and out. And a big, big breath in. And another just floating on out of you. And as you gently open your eyes, may you have crystal clarity moving forward. For self-care, please have a drink of water now, or as soon as the show's finished. Whenever you do energetic work, your body uses a lot of water and salt. So pop some salt in your water if you choose. Celtic sea salt would be the best. Himalayan salt's the next best. And have some water. Do your bodies a favour. And don't let it go down the wrong hole. It's not fun. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you all have beautiful, crystal clear awareness now of what experiences you have desired to have in this lifetime. It may come in little nuggets. You may just get a funny, like, yeah, I recognize that feeling. Watch out for the signs and signals, because they're going to be ramping up. Okay. I hope you have a lovely weekend too, Judy. Thank you for being here. Thank you for playing. I am just so grateful to have you here. And I look forward to seeing you all next week on a Find You Fridays with Lorene. And until then, please get out there, do something tasty for yourself. I don't really care what it is, but please, please, please do something for you. Nobody else, just you. And until I see you next time, be bold, be brave, be you, my beautiful friends. And I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.